So no matter what good news we get, BTC and altcoins keep going down, and rightfully so, because the fundamentals haven't really changed. Inflation hasn't gone down. We are not getting any rate cuts yet. QE hasn't begun. The truth is, without liquidity, the markets can't really do much. Now, don't be mistaken, I don't believe that the bull market has ended, but we are very much in a phase where Bitcoin will continue to retrace down slowly and chop sideways before it's ready for its next move up, which will most likely align with rate cuts and expectations of QE moving forward. Also, the crypto summit was a sell the news event, and to be honest, since the elections began and right up to the point where Donald Trump got elected, it had been a classic buy the rumor and sell the news event where people would push the prices up in the anticipation for Trump to become the president because of his promises for the Bitcoin reserve and all that jazz, and then start selling when he actually becomes the president. If you think about it logically, the Bitcoin reserve was already priced in when Bitcoin hit 100,000. So now you might be wondering, if prices don't go up when we get some good news, why does it keep dumping on bad news? Well, it's actually because of something known as time-based capitulation, where the weak hands get shaken out when price keeps chopping in a sideways market. So these people get bored, and then on top of the retracement that we already have, these people start selling, pushing prices further down. So this is actually what's happening right now, and until the next narrative, which is rate cuts and QE, plays out, we will likely see BTC continuing to retrace down and keep going in a sideways direction. Now, this next narrative of rate cuts and QE is actually not only just a narrative, but it's also very practical and logical. Because if you think about it, if the economy doesn't have a surplus amount of liquidity, if there is no surplus money for people to buy risk on assets, then how will the price of cryptocurrencies go up? So actually, it's not just a narrative, but it's actually something that we need practically in the markets for prices to go further up. So from what I'm seeing in the markets right now, both from a fundamental and from a technical point of view, I think the markets will bottom somewhere around June, and that's exactly when I'll be going into the markets more aggressively. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't start buying before that. I've actually placed some targets for the major cryptocurrencies where I'll be buying no matter what when prices go down to that level. So let's move to the charts now. So on the Bitcoin chart, I believe that a good buying point will be around the 72,000 mark. As you can see, it has been a good resistance zone in the past. This has been in March of 2024. It got rejected in May, rejected, and then we got rejected again in October 2024, and then we finally broke out. So this seems like a pretty good region. Let's take a look at Ethereum next. For Ethereum, I think the 1700 level looks pretty good. So as you can see, it has acted as a good support and good resistance zone. So usually when a zone acts as a support and resistance as well, it's usually pretty strong. It acted as a support in May 22, got rejected in July 22, rejected in September 22. We moved around here a little bit in March of 2023, then broke out, retested as support in April 23, and so on and so on. And then very recently in 2023, it acted as resistance again, then flipped into a support. So looks pretty solid. Now I will buy Ethereum around this zone, but if prices keep falling further, then if we go take a look at the weekly, as you can see, this region has acted as a good support zone, as a good support and resistance zone actually. If you take a look here, around the 1500 mark. So I will probably be buying around 1700, and if it falls further, around the 1500 mark for Ethereum. Next, for Solana, on the weekly, we are actually already at a support zone. The next zone lies around the $80 mark. If we take a look at it on the daily, we'll get a clearer view. right over here. Prices crashed from around December 2023 till Jan 24, and then it made a massive move upwards. When prices make a massive reversal from a resistance or a support, that usually indicates that resistance is pretty strong. So this is the next price target that I have for Solana. Now, it's not actually a price target, but you could call it a buy zone. Next, let's take a look at SUI. For SUI, I believe 1.7 is a good buy zone because it has acted as resistance and support, especially this support over here before making this massive move. How much is this? A massive 200% move from this support. So 1.7 looks good. Next, let's take a look at Ondo. RWA is a very good narrative for 2025, I believe. So 0.7 looks good. Good resistance over here. Resistance. You could arguably say that this region was better, 0.8, but we have already fallen below that. So 0.7 looks good. And even for if it falls even further down, then the 0.5 zone, a little bit higher maybe. Yeah, 0.6 looks good to me. Let's check it out on the weekly. Yeah, looks pretty good. Resistance, support, got rejected on the wick. We can move it down a little bit, I guess. Yeah, resistance, support. 0.59. Let's just round it up to 0.6. Yeah, 0.6 looks. Wait. Okay. Yeah, 0.6 looks like a pretty good buy zone for Ondo. And yeah, I think that's it for my buy zones. That's the end of my video. If you liked it, don't forget to like my video and subscribe. Helps out small creators like me out a ton. So see you in the next video.